Hello friends, Scott from Sharing the Burden. I was looking at a part of our program that talks about making amends today, and of course the word restitution came up, and restitution of course means, straightening out everything that needs to be straightened out and making good for where you've not made so good in the past and so on. Anyway, when I talked about restitution, it had this to say, and this is actually a proverb from Scripture, but it says, "Fools make fun of guilt, but the godly acknowledge it and seek reconciliation." Here's what it says. It says, if we're wise, we'll always check the fuel level in our cars before venturing out on the road. If the gauge indicates we're running on low, we'll be sure to make a stop at the gas station. None of us looks at the gauge hoping to buy fuel. We look at it because we know the information provided is important. If we ignore it, we may end up stranded. As much as we abhor the feeling of guilt, it can be a blessing if we acknowledge it and try to understand it. Guilt feelings draw our attention to something that is not as it should be. If we have hurt someone or broken a law, we need to face the consequences, seek forgiveness, make restitution, and do what is necessary to avoid repeating the transgression. If we're feeling guilty about something that wasn't really wrong, we need to examine the situation and let go of our false guilt. Just as ignoring the empty level on the fuel gauge can put us in a bad place, ignoring guilt will certainly have negative consequences in our lives. So I found that quite often in my life. Feeling guilty, the first avenue of relief would be to just push that feeling aside and call it crazy and phony and have no basis for meaning. But I believe now, after reading this and hearing many stories that revolved around people sharing their guilt or their guilt feelings and finding that they were answers to something. And I think all of these things that put us in an emotional place that is uncomfortable are simply geared to showing us that something needs attention. And we need to ask ourselves at that point, well, what is it that needs attention? What led up to this feeling of guilt that I'm experiencing right now? And what did someone say that led to that? And what was I reading? What was going on that day in my life? Maybe what have I watched on television? Whatever. There's something that brought it on. And usually when I figure out what that something is, I'll see that, well, yes, there is a little bit of work there. And I'm feeling guilty about that because I've done that very thing several times, and it's just not the right thing to do. And maybe I never really knew it, in a solid fashion before, but now I know. Now I know it's wrong, and it's right for me to feel guilty about that thing, and I'm going to work on correcting that. And that simple awareness sets me anyway on a new piece of ground and allows me to move ahead and with a plan of correction to that particular awareness. And of course now when that awareness hits me, and that sense of guilt hits me, I'll know where it came from, why I have it, and hopefully what to do about it. So, seems to be a solution, folks. And it says here, ask yourself, what are the benefits of using a guilty conscience as a catalyst for change? How can you know the difference between real guilt and false guilt? These are things you can think about. And by the way, this is from Stephen Arterburn and David Stoop, newer book called Take Your Life Back Day by Day. It's 365 ratings. That happens to be the 147th day, but I only picked that out because the glossary said something about restitution, and that's what I was thinking about. So, folks, have a great evening, great day, great week. Know that we're on tonight at the Olive Branch, 7:30. If you're interested in a meeting, we'd love to have you. Need some new people, some new blood to come around, actually, and help us share our way to a recovery from a variety of situations. And don't feel that you have to be a drug addict or a alcoholic or something like that to come to our meetings. Our meetings are about being uncomfortable in our own skin sometimes, and maybe feeling like we don't fit, possibly feeling like there's something that needs attention and I don't know what it is. We'll support you through whatever it is, and as I often say, if you make friends with us, we'll always be there for you. We don't come and go. We'll not abandon you because you don't act nice or something. We'll stay with you. So anyway, folks, Hope we can get to meet. Hope we can get to meetings together. If you're not busy this weekend, we have a retreat weekend. $190 will buy you a weekend at Mary Lake. And a great weekend. A weekend that includes 6 meals. A lot of things to discuss around this program of healing, if you're interested. Or none. Or just have yourself a nice weekend. So, I'm going to leave you now, and I'm going to thank you again for listening to us, and know that you can get this book, too, online. And you can listen to us online, by the way, 102.9 FM every Tuesday morning in Stouffville on whistlefm.com. We discuss real life recovery from all these different kinds of things we've been talking about. Not just booze and drugs, but, so many other mental illnesses and emotional upsets that create emotional dysregulation, which is a very real topic, a very real problem that results in a lot of pain. So, folks, hope you enjoyed what I had to say and hope you can use it somewhere. So God bless you, and we'll see you all real soon. Goodbye for now.